You guys, I want you to name something more annoying than the advertisements that these free applications and platforms send your way when you don't buy their premium shit. Look at this. Toilets, furniture. Here in a minute, there's going to be, some half-naked girls popping up in bikinis and shit. They'll do anything to get your business. The most annoying advertisement possible they'll send your way. With that being said, bear with me. You guys see what I'm saying? What the fuck? See what I'm saying? All right, guys. Let's break down the broad market. Let's break down the individual setups. Tell you guys where my head's at going into Friday's trading session. QQQ and SPY with a big bounce today. Tech sector had been, massively lagging and was starting to sort of go into a little capitulation free fall before the gap up and follow through today. Kind of thought this follow through could be stronger. Maybe we could push up to, 690, 693 in that area. We weren't able to, get that done today. Could we continue doing that tomorrow into the beginning of next week? Absolutely we could. But I'd say a little more juicy scenario that I'd like to see would be maybe a weak bounce followed by more capitulation and selling. Something like this. See that EMA 20 act as resistance and push us back down to see some sort of true capitulation and maybe retrace down to this gap at 610 or something. That would be scenario A. Would love to see that. I'm already loving the volatility that the market's provided the last week or so. As traders, we have to capitalize on movements, and movements come when people are selling and buying. So it's a great environment for traders. SPY today, SPY, I'm not even really looking at it right now. Let's disregard it. Let's focus on tech. The names I'm trading are tech, Let's start with the names I'm in currently. LCID. I don't know, guys. I think this thing could go to 10. I just think this thing could go to 10. It's got that higher low. It's got that higher high. Put in 2 inside bars. The volume continues to roll in this name, and I haven't sold really much of my position at all for next week's option expirations. If it dips below, low of yesterday, 750, low of today, I got to lighten my position up a little bit. But for now, I like the look of this LCID. I think it's got range to 10, potentially $12. DDOG, this is one I was in yesterday. Bought it on the breakout. This is pretty textbook right here, guys, on the strategy I like to trade. I can tell you in 30 seconds, okay, how it works. This is how stocks move. Not this year, not last year. This is how stocks have moved for 10, 20, 50 years, guys. Stock makes a big move. Usually it's a fundamental, it's an earnings beat. Revenue guidance is raised. It's a buyers are increasing, revenue's increasing. It's a positive stock. The company's in a good spot fundamentally. Stock goes sideways, puts in a tight base, breaks out a tight base, and rides the moving averages higher. That's what we're looking at here. We don't buy them when they're going up big. We don't buy them when they're rallying in these big range candles. We don't buy them when there's big range candles. We buy them when the range gets tight. And we wait till we break out of the tight daily range. That's what I did on LCID. I waited for it to put in a tight daily range. Like, here you go. This is how stocks move. Stock makes a strong move. 250 to 750. Stock pulls back, consolidates. Puts in a tight daily range. Breaks out of the daily range and rallies. DDOG, same thing. CRWD, that's what we're getting. We're in that tight consolidation range right now. Here's what I want to see going forward. Oh, fuck, we're lagging. See, now this would be a more effective way to get me to buy premium version. These guys were smart. They would just do like a 5-second lag. I'd have to pay for that shit immediately. CRWD, stock makes a strong move. It goes from 90 to 200. It doubles. It goes up 100%. Stock puts in a tight range. Breaks out of the daily range, rallies. Okay? We pulled back, really very aggressive pullback over the last couple weeks. But while the broad market, while QQQ's been making these, consistent lower lows, lower highs, pay attention. What's this stock trying to tell you? What do you guys think? If a stock like CRWD is making a higher high or a higher low, if a stock like CRWD has barely pulled back from 190 to 180, while the broad market lost in that same time range 690 to 650, 660, hey, the market's trying to tell you something. Listen to what it's saying. This is a strong stock, okay? This is a strong stock. So what do we want to see here? Well, we're putting in a tight daily range. We want to see us break out of that tight daily range. Now, some of you guys are going to ask me, Gabe, how do I know when the stock breaks out of the daily range? We're trading on the daily bar chart here. You can't be super picky with it. There's no one way, right way, wrong way to enter a stock. The only right way and wrong way to enter a stock is you have to have a risk reward in mind. You have to have a clear place that you're going to cut the trade when you enter. And my rule is really, I won't enter if it's up more than the daily range. So CRWD, this is a stock that moves, on average, I couldn't tell you without looking it up, exactly what the daily range is. But you guys can see here, this is a stock that'll move, from 160 to 175, 15 points. A small range day would be 3 or 4 points. Probably has like a $6 or $7 average range. If the stock's up higher than the ADR, the average daily range, I won't buy it that day. I'm patient. I'll just kick it to the curb and wait for the next setup. But if it's not up higher than the average daily range, what I'll do is I'll swipe down here to a smaller time frame. On CRWD, I'm on TradingView. This is my platform that I use for intraday trades. And I'll draw a trend line. This is that daily range, right? This is like going to this chart here and putting this same line across these candles. That's exactly what I've done here on TradingView. I've just done it on the 1 hour chart. You guys will see. Boom. It's beautiful. Okay. So what I'll look for, stock to break above the range, and then put in like a 5-minute, 15-minute, or a 30-minute opening range break. Now, what do I mean by an opening range break? Well, let's look at DDOG. I saw I traded it yesterday. Okay. DDOG had the same setup. When I show you guys here, we'll go back to yesterday. And just picture like today's candle isn't there. Okay, we had a tight range. I was able to draw this tight range on the daily chart. And then I just went down to TradingView. I swiped down to my 1 hour chart. You guys can see here. And I drew one of these. Boom. And then here's how I traded the opening range breakout. This was a beautiful 5-minute, 15-minute opening range breakout. You could have traded either, okay? Stock starts the day right here, okay? This is where I want you to focus. Right here. Puts in a strong 5-minute candle. We're not able to break through the high of the 5-minute candle, but we mark it. That serves not only as our 5-minute high, but also our 15-minute high. And we mark that clearly on the chart. We're patient for the stock to break through that 5-minute opening range. Once it does, we enter our trade and we place our risk. I had a little tighter stop on this. I didn't want to lose too much on the position. So, my stop, I believe I put it like under this candle. But a lot of the times you can put your stop under low of day. And what did we get? We got a strong move over the daily breakout range, over the 5-minute orb, the opening range breakout. And we got a stock that pushed hard all day and rallied again today. So that's the trade. That's how I trade. That is the method that I scan for and execute from a swing trading perspective. And that's what I'm looking for in CRWD. I'll swipe down to the smaller time frame and look for us to break out of this daily range for potentially a push up to like 200. I like to hold this for a swing trade. It looks pretty strong off the 50-day moving average. Moving on, QMCO. Yeah, we're going to talk about this chart right here. QMCO for sure. And here's why. Stock makes a strong move. $4 to $17. Most recent rally, $8 to at least $16. Stock more than doubles. Stock pulls back. What does it do? Puts in a tight daily range. Very tight daily range. This has to be emphasized. When you see something like QMCO, this is one of those quantum computing names that was super hot, last year around this time. Look at the sympathy plays. Look at the names that are also quantum computing names and just see how their charts look. I'll show you guys. You've got a name like QBTS. Why does it look ugly as fuck? Low in the range, making lower highs. I don't want any part of that chart. QBTS. Look at QUBT. It looks a little more constructive, but still, it's below all the major moving averages, putting in lower highs, large range candles. I don't want no trade in that, but look at QMCO. Look at this thing. Above the major moving averages, tightening. Small range candles, putting in like a flag pattern here. I mean, I'll just go to ChatGPT too and just get like just a straight up logical answer. What's going on here? Well, what does it say? QMCO is setting up cleaner because it has already done the hard part. It hasn't absorbed the post-spike selling and built a tight base while holding above its longer-term trend. It's above all major moving averages. We know that. It's got a real sideways base instead of an active downtrend. It's showing relative strength. It's above the 200-day. I don't care about the MACD. It has defined risk. That is, boom, ChatGPT's smart shit right there. It has defined risk. We want to trade tight range because it gives us a really small risk on our trade. We know that if we lose this daily range, we'll just take an L, move on to the next, cut our loss. But stocks tend to, when they break out of these tight ranges, tend to make pretty explosive moves. So you can put your price target at 14, 1650, maybe even back up to the highs at 18. And QMCO, I'm looking for a daily range break. Tomorrow I'll be watching it. Early in the week, next week, we'll have to see how this thing plays out. But that's my system, guys. Those are my thoughts on the market right now. Again, I told you from the jump, I'd love to see sort of a, why not see some capitulation, some fearful selling in the broad market. That would bring great volatility for a bounce trade, set these names up for, another strong run here in 2026. But that's all I got, guys. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. But if you got some value out of this, appreciate a like, maybe even a comment on this video. Spread the love. Peace, guys.